Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are back for Never Ever Mets, Season 2, Episode 4, and they are calling this Lying for Sport. They ain't lying. They are not lying. There was a whole lot of lying going on in this episode of Never Ever Mets. You know, I've been calling this Foolish and Foolery Friday ever since the season came back. But since I ain't doing this review on a Friday, I'm actually doing this review on a Sunday. Maybe we ought to switch it to Saints and Sinners Sunday. Well, forget about the Saints. Let's just call it Sinners because everybody on here is lying. Everybody on here is lying. Every week we get a new lie reveal. In the beginning, it was a baby reveal. Now we just into the lie reveal. This week we find out that Kiki has been lying to Brandon for over 4 years about still being in an entanglement, doubling up on some crossover between her old man and Brandon. The lies just keep on coming. They just keep on coming. It's pure chaos. That is why I have titled my video Pure Chaos, because it's chaotic. It really is chaotic. And let me tell you something. No one is safe. If you look at all the couples, except for Jay and Sinko, they're the only couple which I feel as if got it going on. They got their stuff together. Everyone else, pure chaos. This episode, Paige and Dr. Allie. Y'all know I love me some Dr. Allie last season. I loved her again as she tried to do a session with Kiki and Brandon. We're going to have to talk about their session. Kiki says she on vacation. She says she on vacation. If this is an all-inclusive resort, Kiki got the drink package and she got the food package. Because Kiki is at the all-you-can-eat buffet. She ain't washing no dishes. She ain't cleaning. And she drinking everything she can. Woo, Kiki ain't never lied. She is on vacation at the all-inclusive resort. And Jared, he's on vacation too, because he's over here smashing and grabbing women and he know he ain't taking them home. He doing that vacation kind of Stella got her groove back kind of stuff. He's like, I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to sleep with Charli, even though I know I'm not taking her home. Goodness, good. He might as well be a passport bro. I know they calling him Jamie Foxx. We might as well call him a passport bro, because right now he's like Kiki. He's on vacation with his passport, sleeping with a woman that he knows he's not going to do nothing with after this. Nothing with her. And boy, oh boy, Tatiana, my girl from LA, she acted up this week. She acted up. Now, we're not going to say we like Clavasier, E&G Brandy. I don't like him. But girl, you went a little too far calling him the B word. Control yourself, girl. Control yourself. We're going to have to talk about that. And of course, we're going to have to talk about Alicia. Girl, Alicia can't stay out of, Alicia's bossy. She don't want to just boss around Irvin. Now she bossing around Brandon too. You know what? I can't say I never heard it because I've seen people do it before. They complain about what you talking about in front of them. And then when you leave and go somewhere else and talk about it, they follow you in there too. Girl, just remove yourself. Alicia's the type of person where she doesn't want to do anything differently. She wants you to do everything differently. That's her whole model. It doesn't really matter if what she was saying was right about Brandon shouldn't be talking about Kiki. But Brandon was talking about Kiki in front of Kiki's face too. It wasn't as if Brandon was only talking about Kiki behind her back. Brandon tell her right to her face what he was thinking. And then last but not least, we're going to have to go back and talk about Britney. I told y'all Britney was a problem. I know last week I was calling her Tiffany. I got her name right, but it ain't going to help. It's not going to help that I got her name right. Britney is a problem because I think a lot of you hopefully are starting to see Britney keeps walking around talking about she want a leader, protector, provider. She want an alpha male, but then she want to boss around the alpha male talking about feed me dinner, go get me drinks, go do this. You're not paying me much attention. Girl, I don't know if she doesn't know what an alpha male is or she doesn't know who she is or both. I'm thinking it's both. I'm actually thinking it's both. Britney is somewhat falling under the radar of a lot of people, but she needs to be on your radar because she is a big problem. And according to Uncle Bubba Ty, I think he just thinks she's boring. She's boring. Uncle Bubba Ty is trying to have a good time. And all Alicia wants to, all not Alicia, all Tiffany, not Tiffany, good Lord, all Britney wants to do is walk around in the pool talking about bring me a drink. She must be at a resort too. All these people are at a resort. Kiki's at the all-inclusive buffet, all-you-can-eat buffet, all-you-can-drink. Jared is running around meeting women on the island, sleeping with them, not taking them back. Alicia's basically denying everything, talking about what happens in California stays in California. She's denying everything. And Britney is over here thinking at this all-inclusive resort, she got a butler and Uncle Ty is her butler. But we're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to talk about it in depth. But before I talk about it, please, you guys, go down and like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to leave a comment. And we'll be right back to talk more about this chaotic episode of Never Ever Mets. See you soon. So first of all, welcome back. We're going to start talking about, first we're just going to talk about Jay and Sinko. We normally start off with the worst couple, but let's start off with Jay and Sinko because it's going to be quick and short. And basically, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being the adults in the room. And I guess if we are at an all-inclusive resort this episode, I guess Jay and Sinko would be the manager of the resort. They the managers. They the only ones here acting like they got any sense. And Jared right away starts talking about how he's embarrassed, the fact that he let the cat out the bag, that he wrote hell no on a slip of paper, that he wasn't going to want to take Charli home. He don't want no Brady Bunch. He don't want a house full of kids. But in the same breath, he said he still want to go to the boom boom room with Charli. He said he gonna get it in. He said he on vacation. He gonna have him some vacation sex, and then he gonna take it all the way back home. So he has booked the intimacy suite for he and Charli. And Charli went along on up in there with her 1-month-old baby uterus. Girl. She said it was worth it. At the end, she said it was good. It was worth it. It was worth it. I hope she didn't get pregnant because I know you at one of your most fertile times after you had that baby. So I sure hope they used a whole lot of protection, doubled up, because obviously Charli looked like she can have a baby when you just look at her. When you just look at her, she winds up having a baby. So I sure hope Jared took extra precautions while he's on vacation with his Stella got his groove back. I know they running around. Uncle Bubba Ty gave him the nickname as the Jamie Foxx lookalike, but maybe you need to call him Tay Diggs for those of you who know what I'm talking about. But since we back at the all-inclusive resort, we got to talk about Brandon and Kiki. And I know, like I said, I'm calling this Saints and Sinners Sunday because there's a whole lot of sinning going on. And we're going to definitely say that the sin that Kiki is engaging in is the sin of gluttony. Girl, oh girl, oh girl, oh girl, oh girl. She at the all-inclusive buffet and she is at the all-you-can-drink swim-up bar. It's too much, Kiki. It is too much. We're starting to see, Kiki, that you cannot control yourself. You don't know how to soothe yourself. Maybe that's why you sucking on that thumb, because somewhere along the way, Kiki didn't learn how to soothe herself a more healthy way. So during the daytime, as Dr. Ali says, she medicates herself with alcohol and food. And at night, she sucks on that thumb to put herself to sleep. None of them are a good method, Kiki. None of them. She said she tired of Brandon monitoring her alcohol intake. She said, this is an all-inclusive resort. Don't be counting my drinks. Instead, stop making these drinks so weak and give me a double shot. She said, you are not my daddy. Don't be telling me what to do. We find out a little bit more about Brandon. We already know Brandon got some trauma. We know even the fact that Brandon has this thing for Kiki. I think he got a fetish. That is trauma related too. I don't know. I don't know if Brandon now believes he's the one that's going to go around and save all of the alcoholics, all the overeaters, all the every other thing. Because he doesn't reveal to us that in his family history, there is a history of alcoholism. So he's super sensitive to it. I also wonder if there's a history of overeating in Brandon's family. I know he was out running around the resort, but I wonder if there is a history of overeating in his family. And maybe that's another thing he's attracted to. Maybe he's out here trying to save all the people who are indulging in overeating and overdrinking because he couldn't save his mama. I do not know Brandon, but I know you sat down with Dr. Allie. And I know that Dr. Allie tried to concentrate a lot on Kiki over the fact that she didn't know what binge drinking was. They said, well, what do you think is drinking too much? Brandon says, I think maybe 3 drinks. That should be the limit. 3 drinks. Kiki said 6 to 7. Kiki said 6 to 7 drinks. I said, Kiki, girl, first of all, there's only 24 hours a day. Only 24 hours a day in the day. And you want to tell me 6 to 7, you want to say that 25% of your day should be drinking? So basically, Kiki, you got to work. You either working, you either sleeping, sucking on your thumb, or you drinking. That's about it, because now you out of time. You are out of time, Kiki. You either working, sucking on your thumb, sleeping, or you either drinking or you eating. Girl, you need more balance. You need way more balance. But Dr. Allie got her together and told her, listen, Kiki, no, girlfriend. 6 to 7 drinkings, that's called binge drinking. And that's a problem. That is a problem. She told Brandon, you know what, you do need to stop being so controlling over Kiki. I understand that you're scared. I understand that you care about her. I understand that you're trying to save her from herself. And but I'm gonna talk to Kiki for a little bit and let her know that this is a coping skill. But Dr. Allie also needs to have another one-on-one session with Brandon, because we need to get to the bottom of why Brandon even chose to be with Kiki. And we're starting to find out that Kiki triggers Brandon, but yet he's still attracted to her. Like I said, I want to know what else was going on in Brandon's family besides drinking. Somewhere in that family, there's some bad health. I'm going to tell you right now, somewhere in Brandon's family, there is some bad health. Kiki says she started drinking back when her mother died. We can understand that's a very difficult time for people to go through grief. But I think she told us her mother died in 2020. So that's where the drinking started. Where did the eating start, Kiki? See, this is what I'm talking about. You know, when you go to therapy, everybody always want to start with the last incident, the one that happened in 2020. It's 2025. This was probably filmed in 2023 or 2024. No, Kiki, we want to go back way farther before 2020, because this problem with having zero way of control yourself, not knowing how to soothe yourself in a way that is healthy, this started long before 2020. Does anybody believe that all of Kiki's drinking and eating started in 2020? No, this started 20 years ago. I can say that. 20 years ago, I can believe that. That's where the therapist needs to go with Kiki. You know, let's go back over 20 years, because it ain't no need to start in 2020. What is the point in starting in 2020? First of all, you're not going to bring her mother back, and you need to go back when it started before then. Let's go back to the real genesis of it so we can get off this all-inclusive resort, Kiki. Kiki, you need to stop going to all-inclusive resorts where you get to sleep, eat, and drink all day long. This is a problem. Kiki said she feel lonely. She said it's also the way she felt with her ex. She felt lonely in the house. So maybe, like I said, I keep saying sucking your thumb is a sign of comforting yourself. And what I'm saying is she sucks her thumb, she overeats, she overdrinks. This started long time ago when Kiki was a young girl. Kiki, maybe she was lonely when she was a young girl. Maybe she didn't get soothed when she was a young girl by her mother. I have no idea. But this is where the therapist needs to start with Kiki. We can't get this done in one season of Never Ever Mess with a quick 10-minute free session with Dr. Ali at the all-inclusive resort. No, Kiki, you need to go deep, girl. You need to go in there and uproot all of these feelings of feeling inadequate and feeling lonely to the fact that you sitting here a 20-something, whatever year old, still sucking your thumb. And now you Kiki, don't put no alcohol in a bottle. Don't do it, girl. Kiki finally admitted to us another lie. Like I said, Sins and Sinners Sunday. We gone on from gluttony now. Kiki done tell us she been lying. She been double timing Brandon and I guess the man that she was living with. And she said she want to tell Brandon, she want to get rid of it. She want to get rid of the guilt, the shame, the embarrassment, the whatever else she's carrying around with her, and then maybe the drinking and the eating helps her forget about it. I don't know. But who would have known Kiki was carrying such a secret around with her for 4.5 years? But here it is. So I guess next week we're going to have to hear what Brandon thinks of it. I guess we're going to hear what he has to think of it. But Brandon said to Dr. Ali, you don't want me to be her policeman when it comes to drinking? That's fine. Then when we go out here to this Top Golf, I'm going to be like, you want to drink, girl? Let's turn up. Let's get drink. If you don't want me to help you, if you don't want me to be a good role model for you, then I can turn up. I can turn up with you. And Kiki said, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Waiter, bring me another Miami Vice. Keep it going and make it a double. But Kiki may be happy with Brandon now that he's up here drinking with her and he's really enjoying the all-inclusive resort. But you know who is not enjoying the resort with Brandon? Alicia. Alicia, girl, I tell you, Alicia must just go around looking for people to boss around, because I'm going to tell you, when you look for trouble, you're going to find trouble. Now, get this. Brandon is outside chastising Kiki over her drinking and everything else. Her not cooking, her not cleaning. He chastising her. Alicia is there on the lounge chair listening to everything, and she's perturbed. I got it, Alicia. You don't want to hear it. You tired of hearing Brandon talk about Kiki in front of her, behind her back. You tired of the complaints. But what do? You don't move to another beach chair, which is what most people do. Most people would get up and say, I'm going to go and lay in another chair because I'm out here trying to relax and I don't want to hear none of this. But not Alicia. No. Alicia sits there and listens to it all and then complains about how she's irritated by it. And then when Kiki and Brandon finally get enough of even talking to each other, Brandon says, I'm tired of talking to Kiki about it, so I'm going to go on in here in the kitchen and talk to other people about it because I'm exasperated. And what Alicia does is that's when she decides to get up. She don't get up when they talking and she's disturbed. She gets up afterwards and she runs and chases after Brandon and then bosses him around and tells him what he can't talk about. First of all, Alicia, if you didn't want to hear my conversation and was bothering you, then you could have gotten up and you could have left. But then when I do leave and I go in the kitchen to talk to some of my friends about it, and you come in there and tell me what I'm talking about, I shouldn't be talking about, you can go sit over there. Go back on that lounge chair since you were so happy sitting there before. Go back and sit up it. Don't be coming here and tell me what I got to talk about when it's my own situation. You see, I really didn't have no problem with Brandon talking to the friends about Kiki. I didn't have no problem with it because you know what? Brandon already talked to Kiki about it. So he wasn't talking about Kiki behind her back. He sure wasn't. And he tried to talk to Kiki, but Kiki wasn't listening. So if he wants to go talk to his friends to get a little bit of advice, to help him calm down, you go right ahead and you do it, Brandon. I didn't have no problem with it, but I did have a problem with Alicia running up there behind him, clicking her heels, telling him who he can and cannot talk to about his own girlfriend. No, Alicia, I'm with Brandon. You go over there and you work out things with your own man. Stay out my business and what I do. Stay out my business. Instead of you coming over here trying to fix Brandon, go fix yourself. Once again, Brandon had to go over there and tell Irvin, listen, your girlfriend got this huge resort at this all-inclusive resort. Have y'all seen how big this resort is? And you mean to tell me Alicia couldn't go nowhere but sit right next to the earshot of Brandon and Kiki? Girl, you didn't have nowhere else to go. Yes, you did. You just like to be in people's business. You like to be bossy. You like to be messy. This is an Alicia problem. I'm not going to take Alicia's side when she wants to talk about what everybody else could do differently. Because, yeah, everybody could do something different. But the problem with Alicia is that's what she leans on, what everybody else can do. She never look at what she can do. It's always what everybody else needs to do. And then she gets to sit around on a beach chair at an all-inclusive resort and do nothing but boss people around. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And then when Irvin come in there and try to tell her about herself, all of a sudden she decides she needs to start speaking in tongues. So wait a minute. You can chase after Brandon and tell him what he's doing wrong, what he shouldn't be saying, what words shouldn't be coming out his mouth. And then when Irvin comes and tells you the same thing, you say Irvin is stressing you out and now you need to speak in tongues. So you can give advice, but you can't take any advice. You can boss people around, but nobody can tell you nothing. Got it, Alicia. We got it. So on this Sinners and Saints Sunday, I think I'm going to have to give Alicia one of the 7 deadly sins, and hers is going to be wrath, because she loves to dish out the wrath, but she don't know how to take none of it. None of it. She over here speaking in tongues, calling on the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Well, girl, you need to pray away this tongue of yours. What does Proverbs say? That death and life are in the power of the tongue, somewhere around there. Y'all know what I'm saying. All you Bible thumping people, y'all know what I'm saying. The power of the tongue, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And let me tell you, every time Alicia speaks, she is speaking death, because she don't speak no positive words. She really doesn't. She always got to be bossing people around, tell them what they're doing wrong and what they need to do better. It's always a complaint. Like I said, does an autoimmune disease come with this nasty attitude that Alicia seems to carry everywhere she goes? She said, why there can't be peace? There can't be no peace because you keep opening your mouth. Even when they were at that Top Golf, Irvin really wasn't saying nothing to Alicia. He was really trying to keep his mouth shut, because I think what Irvin was practicing was, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say nothing at all. That's what I think he was practicing. So he was quiet. He wasn't opening up his mouth. And then what Alicia did was, as she was dancing in her seat, she looked over him and said, what? I can't dance? Girl, that man said nothing to you and did nothing to you. But let me tell you something. This is what happens when you have a person who's a shit starter. Even when you are quiet, even when you aren't doing anything, even when you aren't even looking at them, they come up with a reason to engage with you and start an argument. Did you see what Alicia did? She was actually not even being spoken to. She was not even being looked at. But that wasn't good enough, because what Alicia wants to do is she likes to start shit with her mouth. And so she said, what? I can't dance? He's like, wait a minute. How can I be accused of saying and doing anything because I was sitting here quietly? And that's what kicked it off. And what Irvin said is, this is weird. It is weird. It is weird that when I make a concerted effort not to say anything to you that triggers you, not to look at you any kind of way, and I'm just sitting there eating my wings, my tacos, my finger foods, that you still look over at me and tell me you got a problem with me. You see? Remember before, Alicia was worried about your countenance, your stance, you're this. No, Alicia, you're the problem, girl. You are the problem. Can you believe that Alicia got on here at the very beginning talking about she is no one's girlfriend, she is a wife? What kind of wife? It ain't no Proverbs wife. Like I said, the wrath of the tongue, Alicia. That is one of your 7 deadly sins, girl. And on this Saints and Sinners Sunday, you're going to need to do something about it. So we had the lust of Jared. We have the gluttony of Kiki. We've got the wrath of the tongue of Alicia. And I guess next we're going to have the sloth of Britney. I don't know if to call Britney a sloth or if to call her of the 7 deadly sins. If we're going to call her greedy. Because I kind of think it's a little bit of both. I think it's some slothness and I think it's some greediness. And when I say greediness, I got to go back and think, what the hell does Britney want out of a relationship? And I think what she wants out of a relationship is more than what she's actually given to the relationship. Because Britney has a whole lot of list of things she wants Uncle Bubba Ty to do. She said she wants him to pay all his attention towards her. She wants him to be the leader, the protector, the provider. She wants him to cook for her. She wants him to give her massages. She has a whole list, but we really haven't seen Britney do too much anything. Uncle Ty says, why all you doing is walking around in the pool? I want to see you swimming. Basically, Uncle Ty was saying, why is everything you do in a sloth way? Why is everything you do in a sloth way? You want to be my assistant in the kitchen. You want to walk around the pool. You don't want to swim. You want me, when I'm sitting up here sweating underneath this grill cooking, you want me running back and forth to the kitchen to get stuff out the refrigerator, seasonings, refrigerated food to put on the grill. But when I'm in there, you also want me to use all my hands to bring you out a drink. What kind of drink you want at this all-inclusive resort? And you can't get out of the pool. You said you don't want to get your hair wet in the pool, but obviously you don't want your body dry either because you ain't willing to get out the pool and get your own drink. In fact, shouldn't you be getting out the pool and going and getting a drink for him since he's cooking for everybody? Shouldn't you be over there? Hey, baby, you need a rag to wipe the sweat from your brow. You need me to go get you some seasoning real quick. You need a glass of water. Hell no. Britney is over there sloughing through the water, talking about when the food gonna be ready and bring me a drink. Like I said, she had an all-inclusive resort too, and she think Bubba Ty is her butler. Bubba Ty the butler. That is what Britney is thinking. And Britney's boring. This is why Ty don't really talk to her, because she don't have nothing to say. Nothing. What kind of conversation has Britney had since she's been on all season? She ain't got nothing to talk about except what she wants. Give me this, give me that. Sloth and greediness. That's two of the deadly sins I'm assigning to Britney. Slothness and greediness. I don't even know how these two were together. What kind of conversations did they have when they were just talking on the phone? I come to believe, like she said, he hasn't made time to come and see her. I believe it. I believe that Ty is bored by Britney. And I believe that all their conversations are done during times when Ty don't have nothing else to do. I think Ty, he's a very outgoing person. I believe that he talks to Britney when he's bored, or ain't got nothing else to do. You know, I bet he talks to Alicia when he on that 405 freeway in LA. The 405 going north or the 10 going west, because that traffic is a beast. And I bet you that's when he calls. I bet you that's when he calls Britney. Girl, what you doing? And she probably thinks, wow, I was able to talk to Bubba Ty, for a whole hour on the phone. He loves talking to me. But girl, the only reason he was talking to you was because he was stuck in traffic on the 405 north or the 10 going west. Or who knows, maybe he was in a drive-through at Popeyes ordering some red beans and rice and some mac and cheese. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Ty was never giving Britney prime time and devoted attention. He never was, because she's boring. He was only talking to her because he was stuck in traffic on the freeway. That's it. That's why he don't really want to come see her. Sorry, Britney, you boring girl. And this idea of you sitting back and all you do is complain, talking about you want a leader, protector, provider, but you want him to have enough time that all he's doing is concentrating on you and staring into your eyes. Girl. And then she sits over there and she mumbles under her breath, talking about never settle for anything more than you deserve. Well, first of all, we're going to have to start talking about what you deserve, what you putting into the pot, what you What are you putting into pot? Because really at this point in time, I'm still wondering, what is it that Alicia keeps believing that she is so generously contributing to Uncle Ty Bubba's life? I want to know. And I'm not trying to say that Uncle Ty Bubba is all that great either. I'm not. Because let me tell you, the way he claps back at Britney tells you that he ain't no withering flower. He really ain't no withering flower. And you know what? One of the 7 deadly sins I'm going to say that Uncle Bubba Ty has, probably pride. And I bet you I believe that that's what Britney looked at as, that he's an alpha male, because probably what she saw was all that pride that Uncle Bubba Ty has. And that pride makes him snap back at Britney anytime she tries to chime up or get out of line. That's what ends up happening. When she was slothing around in that pool, he said, well, maybe we'll go to the boom boom room. And she said, oh, we're not going there no time soon. And then right after she said that, she said, well, why do you bring me no drink? Britney said, I ain't sleeping with the butler. The butler here is here to serve me. I'm not here to serve no butler. He says, Uncle Bubba Ty is always running around trying to make other people laugh, but he ain't catering to me. He said he was going to cook me breakfast and do this for me. He ain't cooked me no breakfast. He ain't brought me no drinks. He over there on the grill cooking for everybody, but it ain't no special meal for me. Like I said, a private chef. See, Britney was coming to the all-inclusive resort, and what she was thinking was she had bought the package with the butler and the private chef. She didn't know that she was at the all-you-can-eat buffet with Kiki. She was expecting a private chef, and now she mad because although Uncle Bubba Ty is cooking, he's grilling, he's doing it for everybody. And she said, no, I paid for butler service. But girl, you didn't pay for no butler service. You did not pay for butler service. You paid for the cheap price just like everybody else, but you want butler service. She said, you not even no gentleman, Uncle Bubba Ty. You didn't ask me to get no drink. You didn't ask to get me anything. And the minute he started clapping back at her, she said, and you disrespectful. Uncle Bubba Ty, you not getting no tip at the end of this vacation. Just let it be known, she is not leaving you a tip. And then when they was coming home from that top golf event, and Uncle Bubba Ty was tired. The butler was tired. He'd been up since dawn, cooking, cleaning, getting drinks, seasoning food on the grill, then had to go to an excursion at Top Golf and play golf and be funny. And he was exhausted, and he was in the car, and he fell asleep. And Britney said, what kind of butler is this falling asleep on the job? Woo, greedy Britney. Girl, this too much. Let me tell you something. A greedy person and a prideful person, that's not going to be a good mix. It is not going to be a good mix, because one person wants to take. And the prideful person is going to say, you're not going to take from me. You are not going to take from me. And that's the problem that Britney and Ty are having. Britney loves to take. She loves to take. And Ty says, you not going to leech off of me. It ain't going to happen. And last but not least, we get to Tatiana, my girl from LA, and we get Clavasier. And I don't know if they're one of the 7 deadly sins, but there's a whole lot of lying going on. Whole lot of lying. I tell you this, Tatiana, girl, I get it. He a liar. You figuring out he a liar. You upset. You tired of him trying to play you, trying to make you feel like a fool. But girl, you went too far when you called him the B word and you started basically telling him off in front of all them people at the Top Golf. You didn't have to do all that, girl. You did not have to do all that. All your feelings was justified. All your emotions was justified. But the way that you expressed your emotions, that was a problem. It was a big old problem. And Clavasier, we already know he a liar. He is a big old liar. And Tatiana, you need a middle ground, girl, because when he was over there rubbing and squeezing on your butt the last episode and you didn't like it, you kept quiet. And now that you having this kerfuffle over vegan food again at the all-inclusive resort, it ain't enough vegan options at the buffet. Now you're doing the opposite way, where not only are you opening up your mouth and you're complaining and you're talking, now you're being disrespectful in public. Girl, there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground between not saying nothing and saying too much. Tatiana, you need to learn how to speak up sooner, and you need to learn how to speak with a little bit more of a measured tongue in a more a dignified fashion, because the way you showed out, it didn't make you look good. And you know what? We already liked you over we like Clavasier because he's a liar. He's a big old liar. And was there any real need for him to pretend like he liked vegan food? No. And just like you said, Tatiana, you really didn't care about whether or not he liked vegan food. It was the fact that he lied to your face. He disrespected you to your face. So that's why you decide to disrespect him. Because, you know, a lot of people, that's what we look at lying to our face, is disrespect. In a lot of ways, you're like, do you think I'm foolish? Do you think I'm dumb? You might as well tell me I'm dumb if you're going to come over here with a bad lie like this. And that lie that he told last week about the secret he was keeping about from Tatiana was how much he's in love with her. That was a horrible lie to her face. So Tatiana says, well, if you're going to disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you, and I'm going to make it over this vegan food, even though it's really not about the vegan food. But what I was so shocked about was at the end of the episode was when Tatiana sort of lowered her guard, lowered her boundary, sort of settled back down, and basically ended up giving Clavasier a kiss, saying, hey, you know what? I don't want a relationship built on distrust. It's too late. It's too late. It's already built on it. The foundation has been laid. It's already been laid. You can't go, I mean, you can go and disrupt the foundation, try to build a new foundation, but to say you don't want a relationship built on distrust, is already built on distrust, because the lie has already happened. The lie has been happening a long time. The lie is continuing to happen. Honestly, Clavasier is really no different from Jared. Clavasier knows how this is going to end. It's going to end in him going home alone. And the only thing he's trying to do is he's trying to really do a Jared move. He's trying to just do, we on vacation at the all-inclusive resort. Maybe what I can get out of this is some time in the boom boom room, because I'm going to lose anyway in the end. So I might as well win in the boom boom room and then lose in the end. I don't know if Clavasier is ever going to tell Tatiana the truth unless the producers make him. I don't think Clavasier ever had any intentions to tell Tatiana, because what he knows is the minute he tells her, it's going to be over. So he says, I might as well just keep the lie going. Like I said, Saints and Sinners Sunday, it's a lot going on, y'all. Everybody on here need to go repent. Go repent. Because right now, this whole season is a season of chaos. Paige and Dr. Allie, come on, girl. We need you back over here because you do a good job. And I don't know what they paying you, but whatever production is paying you, you need to ask for more. This is like giving a baby aspirin when you need to be prescribed some codeine. We need to come in with the real stuff, because before any of these people go on to date anyone else, they need to get to the root, the bottom of this behavior that they're showing this season, because all they're going to do is repeat it in another relationship. And then what they're going to do is keep blaming it on their partners and not realize that they are a huge contributor into the chaos of their own lives, a huge contributor. But that's all I got, y'all. Don't forget to please subscribe, like the video. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.